Speaking of elections, with 13 days left now ahead of Israel's March 23 vote, we move on to our third daily installment of ILTV'S Knesset Party's Breakdown. And today we're moving on to the personal political party of Avigdor Lieberman, Yisrael Beiteinu. Channa Rifkin reports.
Once hailed as one of Israel's top political leaders, Avigdor Lieberman is a household name, but repeated elections in the last 2 years have been rough on the chairman of the Yisrael Beiteinu party, which is now polling in the middle of the pack with an estimated 7 seats. Now, Lieberman, an immigrant from the former Soviet Union, founded the party in 1999, and the majority of its voters come from Israel's large Russian immigrant population. But the party's policy has always been based on the revisionist Zionism of Zev Jabotinsky, including the principles of national unity, preserving Israel as the nation-state of the Jewish people, and no citizenship without allegiance. For example, pushing for compulsive military or civilian national service for all Israeli citizens. The party then also supports free market economic policies, financial incentives for business, small government, and a Palestinian peace plan that involves the transfer of both land and population. And Lieberman appearing to only seldomly waver from these positions. Still, as with nearly any party, Lieberman and his faction are not without controversy. For one, Lieberman faced charges of money laundering, witness tampering, breach of trust, fraud and corruption, for which he was acquitted, but still hurt his standing at the polls in 2015. Meanwhile, Lieberman has a complicated history of withdrawing from or dissolving Israeli coalitions, beginning in 2008 when he left Ehud Olmert's coalition in protest against concessions offered to the PA. Then in 2014, Lieberman dissolved his party's union with the Likud over the handling of Operation Protective Edge. And in 2018, while acting defense minister, Lieberman again resigned from the Likud government in protest against a ceasefire with Hamas. And this essentially brings us to today, where Lieberman was considered a kingmaker, and his party had the ability in 2019 to make or break a coalition. But when his demands over military conscription weren't met, he chose to block the forming of a government, sending us back to elections. And since then, he's been in the opposition, vowing never to sit with Prime Minister Netanyahu again.